What's going on, guys? Styx here with the Token Minorities, bringing you the battle for Week 5 of Season 6 of the CPC, and this week we are up against Hiker Toad and his Boston Boldores, and if you have not checked out the team builder, I will link that in the description. Please feel free to check that out, so you can get a better understanding of the mons and sets that I brought, as well as the reasoning behind certain moves and EV spreads. Additionally, please check out Hiker's channel. I will link that in the description as well. He is a very good battler, so I highly encourage you guys, if you want to learn more about the draft format, to check him out as well. And yeah, also, if you have not done so, please feel free to subscribe and check out our TTM Discord, where we have channels for not only draft format, but additionally Smogon content and the TCG as well. But that being said, let's go on to the battle. Like I said, up against Hiker Toad and his Boston Boldores. And he has brought a team of Mega Venusaur, Mew, Azumarill, Hydreigon, Lycanroc, and Talonflame. And a quick rundown of my team, if you did not watch the team builder, is we have a physical Shukaberry, Tapu Koko. We have a specially defensive, well, physically or mixed defensive Ferrothorn with Spikes and Leech Seed, a sub-split Gengar, a sub-Calm Mind Necrozma, a specially defensive Rocks Swampert, and a Scarf Buzzwole. Now, looking at his team, the first thing I'm noticing is that he did not bring the Rotom, so there goes the most likely defogger in my opinion, but he also did not bring the Stunfisk, and when I saw that, I was like, huh? What? Why is there no Stunfisk? Stunfisk walls the crap out of my team. So I was kind of excited but disappointed at the same time, because a big part of my strategy was using Necrozma to break early to mid-game by taking advantage of Stunfisk. So now looking at his team, there's nothing that Necrozma naturally just takes advantage of in order to be able to set up. So Mega Venu is most likely the only way that I will be able to set up against him and do some work. So that's kind of going to be what I'm ultimately going to go for with this team. But that being said, noticing that his defogger is more than likely Mew, and if it is Mew, then I want to scout out what the rest of his moves are. So I'm just going to lead with my Swampert, force him to show the defog so that the Talonflame can come in and can actually have its Gale Wings. And yeah, so lead with Swampert. Like I said, he leads with his Mew, and what I'm immediately going to do is go for a Protect. See what type of Mew this is, see if he has any grass coverage as he goes for the taunt. Now, knowing that he just taunted, knowing that I saw the fact that he just taunted, I'm actually going to stay in and immediately go for the Stealth Rock. Now, Taunt on Mew shows me that this is more than likely a defensive Mew. This is a defensive, bulky Mew, so I don't have to worry about necessarily any setup variant of Mew. He already revealed Taunt. He probably has a recovery move of some kind, so that's 2 moves gone right there. I want to scout out the rest of its set, and now that he went for Taunt and sees that I know that he has Taunt, I'm actually going to stay in and go for the Rocks, as I did not think he would necessarily double Taunt, as I would probably go into Gengar or Tapu Koko in order to try to exploit the Mew and try to take advantage of the fact that he did go for Taunt. So I'm going to get my Rocks up as he sets up a light screen, and I was just like, oh boy, this is dual screens Mew. That's probably set up Azumarill, set up Lycanroc, set up Talonflame. What do I really have against him right now? So this is bad. But once again, I'm going to stay in with my Swampert, as I want to start chipping down this Mew, as I do see that it is dual screen. I know that Scald is not going to do a whole lot, and if he's one screen, he's probably the other, so he's probably just going to stay in and go for his Reflect this turn, as he actually goes for the Rocks, which, okay, that shows me Mew set almost completely, as I am able to get the Toxic up, and what that reveals is that Mew is dual screens, Stealth Rock, and Taunt, does not have a single recovery move, or a single attack. So that's going to be very exploitable for me. Exploitable, sorry. Just kind of tripped over my words. That's going to be very exploitable for me later in the battle. But that being said, I'm going to go immediately into my Tapu Koko, as he's probably just going to go ahead and get the Reflect up, which he does, and I'm just going to be able to fire off a free U-turn. Mew's revealed all 4 moves. He has to go into something, and I'll be able to scout out what he wants to go into. Now he goes into his Venusaur as I U-turn, and once again, I am a physical Tapu Koko. That Venu comes in and takes 13% under Reflect. That shows me that that would have taken 26% if the Reflect was not up. That is an offensive Venusaur. However, at the time, I had like a brain fart and was like, or it's not necessarily offensive, but it's not physically defensive at all. And at the time, I had a brain fart and forgot that Reflect was there, and I was like, oh, okay, took 13%. That seems about right for like defensive Venusaur. This is my only opportunity to go into Necrozma and try to set up. And in all honesty, I actually still kind of stand by my play, because even if I had remembered that Reflect was up, I would have just thought that this was a Spadef Venu. Like, that's what I would have thought. Necrozma does not have the chance to set up on really anything on his team other than the Venusaur. So this is going to have to be an opportunity that I take advantage of while it's available to, and while it's available to me, and just kind of go for it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into my Necrozma. There's no Stunfisk for me to take advantage of this game. Mega Venu is the only way that I can try to set up with my Necrozma, and that's just what I'm going to go for. Is he ends up Mega Evolving, goes for the Sludge Bomb, and that does 40. So this is an offensive Mega Venu. I go for the sub immediately, as I was trying to scout out maybe he'll go for like a Leech Seed or a Toxic and I can outspeed. But no, it's a speedy and offensive Mega Venu, and I was like, ah, crap, well, this sucks. I'm just going to go for the Calm Mind, try to wear down a couple turns of the screens, and then maybe hit him harder with Photon Geyser than I would have been able to regardless. But as you will see, Sludge Bomb not only breaks the sub, Leaf Storm just takes me out. And so at this point in the game, I was kind of like, oops, well, I just played my Necrozma poorly and threw it away. So it's essentially a 5v6 at this point. Necrozma did absolutely nothing. The only thing it did was make Venusaur get to -2 and waste 2 Sludge Bombs. So that's, yeah, something that was not valuable in the least. Necrozma kind of went down without a fight, and my main win con / breaker that I had been relying on is just kind of gone. But with the Mega Venu at -2, this gives me a free opportunity to go into my Gengar, try to wear down the screens just a little bit more, and then he goes into his Lycanroc, as I am going to set up a sub. And I calced right here, and unfortunately Shadow Ball was not a guaranteed knockout on the Lycanroc, so I'm going to stay in. I'm just going to kind of risk it at this point, just go for the Focus Blast. Luckily I hit as he breaks my substitute with Accelerock, and now my Gengar is at 50, but the Lycanroc is down, his screens are about to fade, and Hydreigon does come in. And like I said in the team builder, Swampert is my main Hydreigon check. So I'm going to go into that, try to scout out what this Hydreigon set is. And first of all, the fact that he came in on Gengar tells me that he's Scarfed. And there's a very good possibility that he saw what a threat Gengar was to his team, and that he really couldn't afford to switch anything else in, so he was just trying to bluff me, which is definitely a play that can be made, and is a play that I've seen a lot of good Draft League players make. But the damage on Swampert tells me that Hydreigon is not a boosting item, or is not a special attack boosting item, so this Hydreigon is basically just confirmed Scarfed at this point, as Swampert will be able to take another one if I choose, and we can just go from there. So yeah, now his screens are gone finally. Okay, so I really wanted to double back out into my Gengar or switch into Tapu Koko or something like that, because I knew either the Mew or the Venusaur would come in, but I could not pull the trigger. I could not pull the trigger on 2 Mons that could potentially win me the game against him. So while I don't agree with my move right here, and I wanted to so badly, I just stay in and Scald, try to get a little bit more chip damage on the Hydreigon, put it in range of like a couple Shadow Balls or a U-turn from my Koko, that type of thing, as the Mew, of course, does come in, and I'm able to get a little bit more damage on that with Scald and Toxic. Now, this turn, considering he saw that my Tapu Koko, or that I'm, what am I trying to say? Considering that turn 1 he set up the light screen, or turn 2 rather, he set up the light screen on my team as opposed to the Reflect first, I'm thinking that once again he's going to try to set up the light screen as a first option, and so I'm just going to try to take advantage of that, go into my Tapu Koko, and then not only does that prevent the Mew from getting off a light screen as well, or prevent the Mew from getting off a Reflect as well. Sorry, I'm like tripping over my words right here, jeez. So basically, situation. Mew is in against Swampert. What Mew revealed last time is that he prioritizes getting Light Screen up before Reflect. I'm thinking that he is going to think along those same lines again, and so what I'm going to try to do is switch into my Tapu Koko on the Light Screen, and then Wild Charge to prevent the Reflect from going up, and then with my Tapu Koko in, it prevents the Azumarill and the Talonflame from being able to set up on me. It prevents the Venusaur really from being able to come in, as a Brave Bird without a Reflect up should be able to KO it from there, and then Tapu Koko can also take advantage of the Hydreigon coming in. I can just switch back out into my Swampert or my Ferrothorn and go from there. So that's what I'm going to do. Try to go into my Koko to exploit the fact that he's more than likely going to go for the Light Screen first, but he does get me right here and goes for the Reflect first, and now I'm like, ah, crap. Well, the Mew's getting worn down. There's only a couple more turns that I can try to take advantage of it, because this Mew is so easily exploited by my team because it doesn't have any attacks. It just has a couple screens, and now that he has the Reflect up, Tapu Koko no longer fulfills the role that I was hoping that it could. And while I could just U-turn out and kill the Mew, I'm actually wanting to use this Mew as setup fodder for my Gengar. I want to use this Mew as a free substitute for my Gengar because yes, he does have Taunt, but he doesn't have an attack to hit my Gengar. So this is like I said, a free sub, and allows me to better deal with his Azumarill, his Talonflame, really whatever he wants to go into, quite a bit better if I have a sub up, and I'll be able to Pain Split up and also wear down some of the turns. So he did get me. I'm not going to attack him with my Tapu Koko. I'm going to let him get up his second screen, hopefully wear down the screens just a little bit more as I do go into Gengar as he gets his Light Screen up, and like I said, I am just going to go ahead and sub. Now what he's actually going to do is he's going to switch hard into his Hydreigon as my Gengar is able to get up a substitute. Now, I did not agree with this play at the time. I was like, why didn't you just sack your Mew? Why didn't you just let me kill it with a Shadow Ball? Well, he didn't know that I had Pain Split at the time. I realized that I was disagreeing with the play, but he didn't know that I had Pain Split. So to him, my Gengar is just a couple of Life Orb hits away from going down. So that's why I was like, oh, okay, that makes a little more sense now. But Mew still is going to be a sack for later in the game, which again makes sense because as Hydreigon is Scarfed, it allows him to switch up moves if he needs to. But either way, my Gengar is now behind a sub. It is not taunted. The Light Screen is up. I should be able to get some health back at the very least, just scout out what this Hydreigon wants to go for, etc., etc. And so I am low, so I'm just going to go for the Pain Split as he brings in his Mega Venusaur. And now that I reveal the Pain Split, my Mega Gengar is going to be able to stall out these screens and 1v1 this Mega Venusaur. And as you can see, Shadow Ball does 25. It's going to do 50 without Light Screen. This is great for me because I will be able to not only stall out the screens, but I'll be able to get my Gengar back up to a decent amount of health, because at some point I am going to get a Spadef drop on this Mega Venu and be able to beat it 1v1. He goes for the Sludge Bomb. That tells me he has nothing to break my sub reliably. And so my Gengar, once again, going to be able to 1v1 this Mega Venusaur and stall out the screens. Mew can't come in anymore because of rocks, and I am in an amazing position. There's a very good chance that this Gengar is just able to at least get 2 kills right here. It's going to be able to beat the Mega Venu or whatever he wants to go into, and then it will be able to get another kill when he tries to break my sub, and he'll have to revenge me as well. So this is a great position right here for me. I'm at a good amount of health. Venusaur is at 47. I'm just going to go for like a Shadow Ball, try to wear him down, fish for that Spadef drop, and unfortunately I get a crit. Now, that actually really sucks for me. And you might be thinking, wait, why does it suck for you? You got a crit. You took out the Mega Venusaur when you normally wouldn't. Well, yeah, I took out the Mega Venusaur, but what I was kind of going for right here was the ability to stall out these screens, because this Gengar beats Mega Venu 1v1, almost no questions asked. He revealed that he doesn't have Earthquake, he doesn't have a reliable way to break my sub. I'll always be able to get a sub up, have it live a hit from Mega Venu, and Pain Split up. So not only do I get less health than I would have had the Venu been at a higher amount of HP and had I taken it out a little bit later, but now he still has 3 turns of the Light Screen up, which means that Azumarill can actually potentially set up on my Gengar. So this is really, really, really bad. I was relying on Gengar, like I said, to stall out the screens against this Mega Venu, because he really wouldn't want to switch anything in. So I would be able to stall out the light screen, and then whatever he went into, I would be able to kill that, as well as it was forced to revenge kill me. So yeah, that crit actually really screwed me over and is going to put me in a very bad spot, as Mega Venu does go down, but his Azumarill comes in. I don't have an attack that can hit it reliably, so I am just going to Pain Split, get back up to a decent amount of health, as Pain Split really does ultimately about the damage that Shadow Ball would have done anyway, and at least this way I get a good amount of HP back. And he is going to be able to Belly Drum up. He's not going to get knocked out by a Shadow Ball from behind the sub, and this is exactly why I was so screwed by that crit, because had Light Screen gone down, I would have been able to just take out this Azumarill, no questions asked. It would just go down to a Shadow Ball from here. But because of that Light Screen, I'm going to do like 28 damage, 28%, right around that, 25, 28%, and not be able to take out this Azumarill, and then I will have to be able to play around that. Now, this turn is a little bit of a 50-50, because what I can try to do is predict the Aqua Jet, and as you can see, the light screen will go down. Light screen's at its last turn. So if I'm able to predict his Aqua Jet and then sub up once again, my Gengar will still be able to stay in and knock out this Azumarill. That's if he goes for Aqua Jet. If he goes for a knockoff or something as I try to sub down again, well, the Azumarill will still be at 38%, and I will not have gotten an attack off, and I have a Gengar not behind a sub against an Azumarill that can just freely attack me. So it's a bit of a 50-50. I decide that my safest play, get damage off on this Azumarill. Worst case scenario, I can try to wear it down with Iron Barbs from my Ferrothorn to finish the job. And that's ultimately what I'm going to do, just fire off a Shadow Ball. He does go for the Aqua Jet, so my plan that I thought about would have actually worked, but this works as well, as I'm able to Shadow Ball it, get it to 10%. I'm going to switch out my Gengar. Light Screen does finally wear off, go into my Ferrothorn, as he does not, or he doesn't necessarily predict that, just goes for the Aqua Jet, and Azumarill will go down. So crisis averted, but again, that crit put me in that position, and Ferrothorn is in a much, much worse spot. It's not able to, it had to take a +6 Aqua Jet, even though that did 32%. That's still not good. That still puts me in a situation where I'm like, Ferrothorn's not at full. That's a little bit bad for potentially living a hit from Hydreigon or Talonflame. But now that Talonflame comes in, I cannot afford to let this thing set up all over me, and I know that this is the perfect opportunity to do so, as Ferrothorn generally can't hit it all that hard. So I'm just going to go straight for the Leech Seed as he goes for the Tailwind. Now I'm thinking, okay, well, he has Tailwind. This is just something else that I'm going to have to try to stall out as well. So yeah, I mean, I have the Leech Seed on it. I have no reason not to go for Protect. That's what I'm going to go for, to try to get some more recovery, as well as stall out some of the Tailwind turns as he goes with the Supersonic Sky Strike, and I actually waste the Z move. Now, I was not predicting the Z move. Protect was just my play to try to wear down Tailwind. If he went for Roost, that would have been just as okay with me, because then I still would have been stalling out Tailwind. I would have been able to get more damage off on this Talonflame, etc., etc. But the fact that I was able to burn its Z move is absolutely beautiful for me, because what he's going to reveal here is that he does not have Roost. And now Talonflame is going to take itself out with the Recoil and the Iron Barbs, and Ferrothorn is going to be able to take out the Azumarill from low, and also 1v1 a Talonflame because rocks were up. So that was pretty nuts that a Ferrothorn was able to 1v1 a Talonflame, and I'm very okay with that while still being at a pretty good amount of health. I went for Leech Seed over Spikes because the Mew is already dead. The Mew is 100% dead. There's no way that it can come back in. Rocks are going to kill it. Defog is something that he's forced to do with his Hydreigon, and even if he does try to defog with Hydreigon, well, that's just free damage off on it, and Mew is not a threat against my team anymore because it has absolutely no attacks. And so I went for Leech Seed right there, just in case Hydreigon, in case he bluffed me really hard earlier with his Hydreigon against my Gengar, and he's actually a and he's actually like a roost set to where he'd be able to come in, roost off damage. I just wanted to get a Leech Seed off on it in case it tried to come in. But now he's going to go for his Hydreigon. I'm just going to stay in. I know he's probably going to go for a Flamethrower, as he does, and that is able to knock me out. That's fine with me. Now the Hydreigon is more than likely locked into Flamethrower, so what I'm going to do is just go straight into my Swampert, go for a Toxic. It's not quite in range of U-turn from my Tapu Koko yet, so that's really just what I'm going to try to do. Try to get it in range. He switches out into Mew, sacks it. That's a smart play. Now we can switch up moves once again. And I'm getting slightly worn down by Toxic, but it's not a big deal. Hydreigon comes in, takes the Rocks damage. That actually puts it in range of U-turn. And now I'm just going to try to guarantee that. Go for a Scald, as he unfortunately flinches me. But again, it's not a big deal. As long as I don't get double flinched with my Koko and double flinched with my Buzzwole, I will be able to win the game. And so now I'm just going to go into my Buzzwole, pray that he doesn't get 2 or 3 more flinches, or pray that he doesn't get 4 flinches, and I will be able to take him out with a Leech Life, as fortunately for me, he does not, and we are able to take that game 3-0. So that was, I'll be honest, Hiker had me on the back foot very early. The fact that I was leaning so heavily on Necrozma early on, and that it went down without much of a fight at all, really put me in a bad spot. I was not expecting the dual screens Mew, and I was not expecting like the hyper offensive build that he ended up bringing. So props to him on that. Luckily for me, my sub Pain Split Gengar put in the finest of work and was able to come through and allow me to win the game. And then Ferrothorn just being annoying and having Iron Barbs being a thing also saved me the game against the Azumarill and the Talonflame. So yeah, that's the game, guys. We are able to move on to 5-0. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Good game to Hiker. Also forgot to mention that. And this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.